Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another weigh-in video. We have a lot to talk about today. I'll make it short though. I want to start off with that I feel like what everybody always is saying that they enjoy about watching my channel is that I am very honest, transparent, upfront about everything. So I'm hoping that you all still appreciate that when I share how my week went. First, let me show you guys this super cute shirt. Isn't that cute? I got it off of Etsy. I'll show you. I have 3 new ones. I hadn't purchased any Etsy shirts since like before Christmas. I purchased one for Christmas. Yeah, only one. And I hadn't purchased any since then. So I will show all those to you next week in my weekly What I Ate video. But anyway, so I want to give a very honest of what happened this week. Now you saw I did film Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that was all in a video that I posted. I believe I posted that video on Thursday. So you can kind of see that I had an extremely busy work week. It was just very heavy workload, long days, and I want to talk about that. But first off, what I want to talk about is my sleeping. So one of the things I've been talking about for a while is that I have been having the hardest time sleeping. So I did a lot of things that a lot of people kind of mentioned because people were saying, well, are you waking up because something's waking you up? Are you waking up because you have to go to the bathroom? So what are you screens right before you go to bed, so there's a lot of stuff coming in because I asked for a lot of advice. So I started slow over these last couple of weeks. I have really been making a lot of changes. One of them, I already had told you guys that I stopped drinking any kind of caffeinated like beverages by like mid-afternoon. And I've been drinking like even decaf tea at night whenever I want anything hot to drink because it's so cold. That's the other thing. I'm so like miserable with this cold. I am so over winter. So I think that's also part of it though, because I just am so over winter, and I think so part of it I think is like the winter blues, and I'm just not feeling I don't know. It just makes you a little bit more tired, but it makes me kind of restless. But anyways, the caffeine, stop doing the caffeine. I also stopped drinking so much water right up to bedtime. And now instead of getting up every single night to go to the bathroom, I'm maybe a couple times a week. And those are the days that I feel like I didn't drink enough water and I'm just like really super thirsty. And so I've been drinking something. So that was a couple things that I stopped doing. I switched from watching like any TV shows that I'm watching to reading like about an hour and a half before I go to bed. So before I would be like watching, we tend to get into bed by like 9:30, and then I like to read for about 30 minutes in bed. That's like my favorite time to read because it's just quiet, and I can read when it's even noisy, but for me, I really enjoy those like 30 minutes in bed reading. And it's just dark, it's quiet, and I really like that. And so instead though, so I would stop like watching any shows usually around about 30 minutes before we go to bed, and then I would start reading a little bit or just doing stuff around the house to kind of get ready for bed. So I've stopped usually now around like 8 o'clock. I stop watching anything and I start reading then, or start doing stuff, whatever. And so I've done that. So I'm thinking that I'm going to bed and my mind's a lot clearer. And that helped a little bit, but I was still like waking. The problem is that once I wake up, it's hard for me to go back to sleep. And it's really hard for me to fall asleep. Usually like before when I'd be reading, I would naturally start to fall asleep, and I put my book down and fall right asleep. Now I start to feel tired, put my book down, and I'm just restless, just back and forth, and I'm tempted to pick up my book again, but I don't want to. I want to try to sleep. And then also what was happening before is I would get up to go to the bathroom or whatnot, and then it would just be hard for me to go to sleep. And that was happening. Even making all those changes, that was still happening. And then people were telling me about melatonin. And but at the same time, you guys remember this Motivate company sent me these sleep pills, which do have melatonin in it. So in this we have the ashwagandha, which I've heard of that before. I've heard of that in relation to thyroid, that's usually in the thyroid supplements. So ashwagandha root powder, and of course we have, what does that say? Sorry, I can't see. Then we have these other things like L-carnitine, chamomile flower, hops flower powder, lemon balm extract. I mean, I don't know like if these things actually attribute to sleep. Oh, I thought it had melatonin in it. I don't see melatonin anywhere on this list. Oh yeah, there it is, melatonin. There's so many like things in between. Mucin pures, I don't know, y'all. There's a lot of things in here. Valerian root powder, I've heard of that. So let me put this up here. Oh, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it because of the light. Okay, there. Now I always I want to give, disclaimer, if there's things in there, make sure that they don't interact with any medications you're taking. Make sure that there's not anything that you can't have because of any maybe autoimmune disorders you have. Just be careful with that. But I think because of the melatonin in this, I am falling asleep a lot quicker now. And I noticed when I have had to get up to go to the bathroom, which was only like once, is it once this week? I think yesterday was the first time, and it's because I started my period yesterday. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. And so I think that was possibly, or no, I started on Wednesday. But anyway, I think that was really kind of what mainly woke me up last night. But I fell right back asleep. So I think once I'm done taking these, I'm going to pick up some melatonin and try it and see if that's what's doing it. I don't know how much these cost. I do have a 20% discount code. So if you guys are interested in any of these products, I do have a code down there. So far, I really like two of them that I've been taking. That's the burn and the sleep. I'm trying to take them slowly, like little by little, so I can give you guys some, good information on there. But I always tell you, don't spend the money on it if you don't have to. I mean, if it's something that, if you don't have the money, don't feel like you need to do it because things like this are working for me. These were sent to me for free to review. I will look and see with a discount, like if this looks, if it looks like I want to continue buying it, I may purchase some of my own. I am definitely going to purchase the burn. That is something that I will continue just because I really like how it makes me feel. So those were the things with the sleeping. I think a combination of all of them are helping. I think the water, that's turning off the screens, the making sure I kind of turn off my mind. I think all of that stuff seems to be really helping. And then along with maybe the melatonin is helping me with the falling asleep and staying asleep and then being able to fall asleep again. I'll be curious to see once the weather gets better if everything changes. We'll see. Then we'll know it's mainly was hormonal. Speaking of hormones, so let's also talk about that. I want to talk about the positive stuff of what, things that are going on this week. If you all have been watching for a while, then you know that I have mentioned this. I mentioned this last year and I think the year before, that January, February, and March, my cycle tends to be way off. And I think a lot of it's related to hormones. And for a while I thought, okay, maybe, I'm getting to be like perimenopausal or something. And, because my cycle's off, but my cycle will be perfect all year. I'll have, except for just like ups and downs with like how bad the symptoms are and stuff. But January, I pretty much venture to like not even like, cause either this is one or two things that happen in January, February, March. I don't have anything at all. And then when it finally comes end of like February, it's terrible. Or I have it for like, it's terrible and I have it for like 40 days. And so I really wasn't even thinking about it because I always just assumed January is just going to be off. And like I said, I always thought it was related to kind of like hormones and stress and, just a little bit of like winter depression, those kind of things. So it really caught me by surprise when I started on Wednesday, because I remember glancing at my tracker and seeing I had like, I don't know, I remember 10 days. So I think 10 days before it was supposed to start, I remember glancing at it. And then, or it said 10 days on the tracker, but it was like a week before I started, because I started 3 days early. But it took me totally by surprise because I had no cramping. I had no bloating. I had no symptoms, no signs of it. And it was just like, oh, okay, you're here on time in January. So in a way, you know, it made me feel really good because I feel like, okay, that means my body is regular. It means my hormones are maybe in check and in sync and doing really good. Now I am yesterday and today having quite a bit of bloating and cramping and not feeling the best. But it's not like times 3, which is what normally happens when my body's off. So yay, I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like that means things are going well, and I'm, like I said, I'm in sync and my hormones are probably, you know, pretty balanced, and I attribute that to also I'm keeping a really good positive attitude despite my week. You guys saw I was just trying to stay very happy and very positive and very upbeat and just taking it as it comes. So yeah. So anyway, so when I weighed in, I was actually up 1 pound exactly. So being totally honest, I could come on here and tell you guys that I maintained or tell you guys that I lost a little bit, but what would be the point of that? I'd be lying to you, I'd be lying to myself. I would be going against everything I always say about this channel, which is about being honest and upfront and transparent and real. And I know you guys gain, I gain, we all gain. And that's not gonna help you out by not being honest about it, you know? And so I just wanted to tell you guys, yes, I gained this week. I also think I know why. So that's why I'm glad that I'm kind of, you know, tracking on here. I'm tracking, you know, in my tracker. I did track every day this week. Let's talk about my goal calendar here. So you guys know my goals are to hit my daily water goal, to close my rings 20 days out of the month, to hit protein each day, activity at least 30 minutes, 20 days out of the month. So let's talk about this. So my weeks go from Wednesday to Wednesday. So last Wednesday was the, what is today's date? Oh yeah, okay. I'm totally like, where am I at? Today is I'm filming this on Friday. So today is the 26th. This is how we're sitting. So I did really good on Wednesday, hit all of my goals on Wednesday, and then did not 19, 20, 21, hit my goals to 22nd, 23rd, 24th, did not on the 25th. So out of the 7 days, I have 4 that I hit all my goals. The other days, I hardly hit any of my goals. And let's just, like I said, I was so busy, you guys saw. But here's the other pattern that I saw. So not only did I not get my protein in pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 days, I also did not get my water in. I also had very little points. So you guys saw that. I think that was the huge detriment of this week, is that because of how busy I was and my meals were totally off, like I was not being able to eat lunch during my regular lunchtime. I ate it late, so I brought my dinner, messed up my dinner. I just was so stressed out from work, so tired, so just, you know, done with the day that I didn't even eat dinner a couple days a week, as you saw. It was just one of those types of weeks. So I went to look and see how many points I used every day. So it was like the days that out of the week, I get 25 points. So there was one day I had 16, one day I had 18, one day I had 14, one day I had 19, one day I had 14, and one day I had 16. That's the problem. And it was just because instead of eating, I just decided to just veg out and rest after such a busy, you know, week of work. And I was just not being as active. I was not drinking my water. I was not getting my protein in. And I had very few points. I was not eating enough this week. And I mean, I didn't even eat my points. I know a lot of people do the double tracking because they want to make sure they hit enough calories, because they feel like even when they're eating their 23, 24, 25 points, they're not getting enough calories. I don't typically see that. As you guys know, when I used to double track, mine were pretty in sync, but I think that just depends on what you eat. If you're eating enough 0-point foods, you know, those kind of things. But I was not even eating my points this week, and it wasn't like anything I was doing on purpose. It was just, I was just kind of going with the flow of my week. And I'm glad that I have this to look at look at. I'm glad I have my Weight Watchers app to look at. That way I can look back and see what did I do wrong. So I think that's exactly what I did wrong this week. Even though I felt like I took it in stride, I could have easily given in to that stress and picked up, you know, like my husband had brownies here. I made him brownies. I could have eaten those. I did not have any. I had no desire to have any. I really feel like I'm doing so good with healing my relationship with food. However, it was almost on the other side of the spectrum. So it's like, instead of going and binging because I was stressed and tired and had a bad, you know, it wasn't really even bad. It was just a very busy week. Instead of, you know, going to the binge side, I went to the other extreme and couldn't be bothered with it. And like I said, it wasn't on purpose. I wasn't saying, oh, I'm going to eat so I can starve myself and have a good weigh-in, because I know my body. I know I need to eat for my body to even like let go of weight. It's like the total opposite for me, you know, where I think I would have to like not eat for a very long time to even see any weight loss. But now I see that I did not even hit a good, I usually use 23 to 24 of my points a day when I'm having a good weight loss. I looked back at my tracker, and that's typically what I eat in a day. And this was just not cutting it this week. So I really think that's what happened. I think there's that. I think just being really busy, not getting my activity in, not getting my water in, not getting my protein in. I think it's all of that stuff combined is the reason why I had a gain this week. Or it could just be my body, who knows? And who knows what's gonna happen next week. I'm kind of bummed that my last weigh-in, which weigh-in actually is on a Wednesday. So the last day of the month is a Wednesday. So I will be weighing in on that Wednesday, and it'll be my last weigh-in for the month, and I'm on my period. You know, it's the only like kind of bummer thing. So we'll see what happens, but I really definitely will be focusing this week. I'm going to be focusing on getting all my goals in. And the next weigh-in video that you guys see next Saturday is going to, actually, I think I may put it up early. I think I'm going to put my weigh-in January wrap up on Thursday. That way I can give you my February goals too. So I think we'll be a little bit off on videos next week. So I think that's my plan, is to do that. And then I think I'll flip-flop my what I eat in a week and my weigh-in. I think I'm going to flip those and do the other one on Saturday and this one on Thursday. And that way I can have my February goals. I'm going to create another calendar. I kind of have a few goals in mind. A couple of these will overlap. But I will give you a total wrap up of January. If I hit my 20 days of, I haven't even counted to see, but if I hit my 20 days of activity, 20 days of rings, I probably should, so I can see if I can make up any. And we will talk about our February goals, and I want to talk about your guys' goals and all that. So start thinking about what goals you want for February, so we can talk about that next week. But anyways, despite the fact that I had a 1 pound gain, I still feel good over the strides that I've made with my relationship with food, my strides I've made with my sleeping, and the fact that I have been able to figure out, pretty much narrow down what I did wrong, so now I can turn that around for this next week. So that is the plan, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be grocery haul. Bye guys.